Welcome to Tourism Talk. I'm your host, Mary Hammond, Director of the Paducah Convention and Visitors Bureau. My guest today, Dr. Frank Hideg and Leo Green, both with Brooks Stadium Commission. Welcome. Thank you for being here today.
Hi.
This is May. You know what that means. It's time for baseball. Sports marketing is alive and well in Paducah. We have plenty of sports of all types going on, but baseball has sort of been the cornerstone of the activity in Paducah, the sports activity. It seems like forever, and we almost lost that heritage. There was a short time period there when Brooks Stadium was just about condemned, wasn't it, Doc?
Yes, it was. There was a period of time when it seemed like we concentrated our efforts every place except at Brooks Stadium, and it caught up with us. But fortunately, with the help of the community and the mayor and the county judge and people like Leo, we've been able to bring the stadium back.
Well, I know that list is too long to even begin to name, but it really is across the board of people who helped get this stadium in good shape, and we are so fortunate. I really took it for granted that communities, and especially college communities, had stadiums like that. And I was really surprised when we started working with the OVC and courting them to bring that baseball championship tournament to Paducah, to hear that they not everybody has a stadium, especially one of such quality. But that's got quite a story, doesn't it?
It sure does. I mean, Mr. Brooks had in his heart to bring baseball to Paducah, and he did it through his friends, and they formed a board, and they actually sold stock in the stadium. And I think everybody that bought the stock knew that it was just to benefit the stadium, and you got something to show that you gave, versus that they were going to make money from it, because I think everybody wanted to contribute to that ballpark. And thanks to him, they was built strong enough that it withstood all the neglect that it had. And they played softball in it, they ran motorcycles in it, we had circuses in there, we had plays in there, music presentations, but it just got to the point where it had to be repaired. And
after 50 years, though.
Yeah, that's true, but it was still there. And people like Greg McKeel and Leo, and they've just jumped in there, and we've got the job done.
Well, it's nice to have the support of both the city and the county in doing this. And Leo, you've been right there giving support all along, putting a lot of hours in out there at the stadium. And it doesn't just appear out there where you have a nice parking lot, good lighting, fresh paint, and boy, a field, Doc Hideg Field, I might add, that is just as green and looks like you should be teeing off.
We've actually found some golf balls in there, haven't we, Leo?
Yeah, there's a few folks. I think they go over there in the soccer field and hit it.
Hit over the fence.
Hit over the fence. One thing about that stadium, of course, when I think it was around 1999, 2000, when Doc came to me and we were wanting to put it back together, and we always had high aspirations. And Doc is one of those folks that he doesn't take mediocrity at all, and I really, just having the OVC here is one thing, but the OVC brought us a challenge. I mean, we've always had the ambition of amateur baseball and the kids of the McCracken County and Paducah City, and so the OVC gave us the requirements of what we had to have to make it come up to their specifications. And by doing that, now the whole community gets to reap the benefits of it. People like Lou Warner come in here, and Lou's one of the tops in the country at putting together college. He's a major league. He's been on major league ground crews. He does a lot of college, and you're right. It's one of a kind, and it is one of the tops in the United States, and it's because of people like Dr. Hideg, Greg McKeel, the mayor of Paducah,
the American Legion,
Hardy Gentry. You got the county has stepped in there and helped us. People like Smith Construction, Rex Smith has stepped up for us, and unions all over the place. We've had when you go ask for people, and one of the things I've done over the years is try to raise money, and you ask and they'll give it to you. I mean, from grocery stores to restaurants to construction companies. I mean,
across the board.
Across car dealers, they they give us money when we ask.
And consequently, when you go in and it's the beginning of a game and the Star Spangled Banner is playing and the American Legion's got the color guard out there, you put your hand on your heart, it'll just almost bring tears to your eyes, because it is Americana. It's at its best. But and we started these efforts. It was in the late '90s when John Hornsby was right there, our good friend John, and we went up and sold to the Kentucky High School Athletic Association. And really our first jump into these larger tournaments was with the High School Athletic Association, getting the state championship tournament. And I remember when we went up there, Doc, that was as you said earlier, we were so relaxed. It was before all of the different activities happened, and we got a little more tense.
Yeah, the stress was a lot less then, because we didn't have anything, to lose, and we didn't really have anything other than a bunch of promises that we were willing to fulfill. And you and John presented themselves at a district meeting first, and then I remember we went up there and met with them at their headquarters, I believe in Lexington.
Right.
And I think we made them such a good offer, they wish they hadn't already accepted the offer for the year we wanted, so they gave us the following year. But we were going out the door. It was just quiet in the room, and John turned around and he says, "Well, we'll leave the light on for you." Remember that?
I do remember it, plain as day. We miss John to this day, and his heart was in baseball. He loved it.
It sure was.
All of the requirements from the High School State Athletic Association and with the collegiate requirements with the Ohio Valley Conference have led us in another direction, which is really exciting, and that is to have a professional minor league come back to Paducah. And how fortunate we are to have the Southern Illinois Miners coming for an exhibition game coming up here real soon. Now, I do have to say, while anybody who's watching this, we're covering the whole month of May, so you may see this at the beginning, you may see it next week or the week after, but so we'll be talking about events, and some of them may have passed by, and I'll try to remind you as we're going through. But right now we're looking at the upcoming Miners game, and that's really exciting.
Yeah, we will have, thanks to the way Mr. Brooks built the stadium, it's still there, and we will have the return of minor league baseball here, and that's really being promoted by Channel 6 and the Stovall Forward. And they are making that possible to come back, and of course the stadium is there for them, and they are donating all the money that comes through that gate to the stadium.
That's fabulous.
That's really a big help.
Well, the TV station WPSD has been very supportive, as Larry Stovall has all along since the beginning of the revitalization of Brooks Stadium. Now this happens on Monday, May 12th. I hope I have that right.
No, it's
17th.
The Southern Illinois Miners is there the 17th.
Yes, I'm getting myself confused here.
Which is a Saturday night.
Yes.
And on May the 12th is a pretty good day too, Mary, because that's Murray State University versus University of Kentucky baseball there at Brooks. That's at 6 o'clock on Monday night, May the 12th. And last year we had a sold-out crowd there for it, and Mother Nature kind of ruined that for us with a big storm and rain and everything. And University of Kentucky and Murray were good enough to say they would come back and do it again this year. And we think the people of this region are really going to enjoy top flight baseball on the 12th at 6 o'clock at Brooks Stadium with UK and Murray.
I just remember going out there last year, and the Alumni Association were out under the trees having tailgating parties, and the stands were full, and that was great fun. So that's the beginning of the week. That's on Monday, the 12th, and then you make it through the week, and on that Saturday, the 17th, are the Southern Illinois Miners, and they'll be playing
Evansville Otters.
And this is just the second year for the Southern Illinois Miners. Am I correct?
Right. The neat thing about Southern Illinois Miners, everybody has a mascot. They were the mascot of minor league baseball, top mascot. So their minor is nationally famous, and I'm sure the Southern Illinois Miner mascot will be there.
I'm sure they will be. And if you want to see a preview, go to that southernillinoisminers.com and get a peek at that, of the awards and of the mascot, and hope you'll be there to see and cheer on professional baseball in Paducah once again at Brooks Stadium.
Yeah, the Frontier League is, matter of fact, they came to us one time, Doc, remember, and talked about moving a Frontier League team to Paducah. They're all over the Midwest, and they when they do it right, it's very successful. So we are an attractive venue, you know, for people coming. But probably another big venue that's coming up right after that, on starting the 21st of May, is the Ohio Valley Conference Baseball Championships that will be here that week, the 21st through the 24th. And we start that with a big banquet down at the Carson Center on Tuesday night, the 20th.
Right.
And so it's an exciting month, you're right.
Will any of these teams have interaction with the younger people in town through like Paducah Parks Department?
Well, you know, that's another name we need to throw in there. Mark Thompson, Paducah Parks Department. He has been fantastic, and he's the guy when it comes to the clinics that we have down there. And on Tuesday the 20th, around 3:30 in the afternoon, the Parks Department of Paducah, and Mark Thompson is the MC, so he's right there in charge, and we invite all the kids in McCracken County, Paducah City, McCracken County, the bus systems, the city works with us. They load up the kids and bring them out there. All they have to do, we'll have brochures and stuff out to the school systems and the Little League baseball field. Doc goes out to Lone Oak to see his grandson play ball, and he takes a big stack of those, and all those kids, ladies and gentlemen, both of it. And the OVC furnishes their players to do the teaching, and their coaches are there, and they do a fantastic job of putting it together for the kids of the community. And that's a very exciting thing. We're proud of that. There's probably 250, 300 kids come to this every year, and it's good to see them all scattered out all over Brooks Stadium, and their parents coming to watch them. And that the OVC is really happy to do that kind of stuff.
Now that's on Tuesday the 20th.
Tuesday the 20th.
Out at Brooks Stadium. Then we have the banquet that night, then the next day we start right in with the tournaments,
Right.
the games.
Think first game's at 2:00. That next day we have one that afternoon, and then 2 games the night of the 21st at Brooks Stadium.
And it just keeps right up through Saturday evening, and then hopefully we won't have to go into Sunday, but we've had to do it before.
If Mother Nature gets us, we might have to go on Sunday.
And it depends on that double elimination.
Well, that's true. So there's a lot of things. I mean, it's a, you know, the one thing the OVC's doing is their computer, putting this on the computer, and you can go to the OVC.com, OVCsports.com site, and you can get on your computer and you can watch this game. It's streamed on the internet.
That's cool.
And they started doing that last year, and they're coming up the 12th to set up their cameras and so forth and get it ready. And it's a nice production. I think there's 4 cameras and a switcher, so it's
wow.
It's pretty nice little production.
I'm always excited to go up to the press boxes during any of these games because they are full, and you'd be surprised at the different radio stations and television stations that do come and set up camp here for any of those tournaments, especially the OVC. But I'm sure with the UK Murray game, we'll be seeing a good amount of media, and the Southern Illinois Miners. I'm sure Evansville will be here as well. That's, Doc, you've been up to explore that the new field up in Marion, Illinois. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Oh, it's beautiful. I followed how they built it, and I didn't think they were going to get it finished in time. In fact, I got to know some of the workers up there because from Brooks Stadium, I wanted to see if there's anything I could learn. But I thought they're never going to get grass to grow in here at the time, or even if they put sod in here. But they put an artificial playing surface in there, and you'd swear you were playing on regular grass.
Oh, really?
And so they don't have to worry about rains or rainouts unless it's just raining where they can't keep that ball dry because the ball rolls on the grass, it gets wet. But everything where the batter's bat and where the pitcher stands, everything is artificial turf. The University of Louisville also has something like that. It's interesting to see. But we forgot to tell them one thing, Leo, that the clinic that we have for the kids, they also leave with a ball and a T-shirt, and it's absolutely free. That doesn't cost them anything.
Sure.
And if the older kids want to come out and just talk to the coaches about being interested to go to one of those colleges and play, they're available too.
I think all of this experience for the kids, and it's very reasonable. I mean, tickets are like $5, $6. Kids get in free. Really encourage to all of those games for kids to come in their uniforms and come in free, come as a team, take advantage of the OVC clinic. Then go up to Marion, get a field trip, go up there. They have wonderful children's activities where they have a whole package that you can do for a party for kids that's a real experience. So I think this is like step 1, 2, and 3, and go to Marion and have a good time with the Southern Illinois Miners.
At the American Legion dinner, they were there, and they offered up for auction a package, and Greg McKeel purchased it we were bidding against him just to get him to spend more money. But Greg purchased it and he's going to use it for the boys' club downtown.
Oh, well, that'll be great fun.
And he's thinking about buying another one maybe for his church.
Sure.
But they're going to all go up there and they get food and nice seats and a free drink, and the kids just have a good time. And anybody that doesn't come out and see this, I think, is going to miss something, because they have like entertainment between innings instead of just waiting for the teams to run on, run off. They do something between the innings, and they're bringing all their mascots. In fact, they wanted to do a firework display, but I think we got so many trees out there that I don't think we can do it. But you're going to see minor league baseball at its best, and it'll be right here in Paducah. It's only going to be $5.
On a Saturday night in May, before it gets too hot, this is the perfect time to have a family outing.
And the money stays in Paducah. It doesn't go anyplace else but right here in Paducah.
Well, it may be another state, but we are best friends across the Ohio River.
Yeah. It's amazing how much we like them.
Yeah, and we do. They've been very good to Paducah.
Joking, but they've been very good to us.
You know, one thing, Mary, that we could not do any of this without the media.
Yes.
Just like this program today, the Paducah Sun, WPSD TV, the regional television stations, the newspapers are just very good radio stations about covering all
Paducah
this. And
Life.
We're on the front page of Paducah Life.
Yes, that nice article, The House That Brooks Built. You can't go
Right.
wrong with that.
So one thing I want to say about the clinic, it's not only teaching ball skills, but they teach life skills. And they have one of the coaches talks to the parents and the kids as part of this clinic, and they teach them how to prepare, not just to play baseball or softball, but about going to college and what lifestyle is like when you go to college. And because they're not going to all grow up and be professional players. They're going to go be professional life people, and they teach these life skills, and it's really amazing. They do that's I enjoy listening to that, and it's not just about athletics; it's about everything aspects of college.
So, someone who's watching this and has children or grandchildren that they'd like to be to attend the OVC clinic that Tuesday the 20th, they can call the Paducah Parks Department and find out some information about bringing the kids over there and being a part of this clinic. I don't have that number right offhand, but I'm sure if you go to the website here, Tammy, I have to look, paducah2.org, I got it. You can either click on this and listen to this program, or you can go to paducah.travel, and we'll give you a link to the Parks Department so you can get information about that. It's a wonderful experience. Having UK and Murray here on the 12th, what fun is that? Like I said, if you're catching this program at some point, and it may be past the 12th or past the 17th, even past the 20th, know that we have baseball going straight through the 24th, Saturday the 24th, leading right up to Memorial Day. So we've got a month full of activities. Now, this is by no means the only sporting events going on in Paducah. You know, with the new sports complex out here, right past the mall on Highway 60, they're having regular events of all types over there. I think we'd all be surprised at the people coming regionally from out of state to partake in the different tournaments and competitions there. The Paducah Storm baseball. Do you find that many of the men who are coming up through the ranks, maybe through the Chief Paducah, the Post 31 team, going on to play ball, that played in Paducah Storm or teams like that?
Yeah, and interesting, I know this young man, Chris Haas, and Chris was one of the better ones to ever play for American Legion. And that's another thing. American Legion starts the week after the OVC tournament. They start the 1st of June, and so there's baseball all summer long. American Legion is a big part of ours.
This is just the kickoff.
Yeah, this is just kind of get everybody interested. But Chris now has a little boy, and he's coaching his little boy's t-ball team. So I've known Chris since he was 5, and his father, Lewis, was a big part of this stadium and always has been. And now, you know, there's an article in today's paper about somebody that returns to Paducah. Joe Wilson is having a big football clinic here that he's giving his time. Joe is a defensive back for the Buffalo Bills NFL team, and he's bringing some of his friends from the NFL. Is in today's paper.
I know, George Wilson. What a wonderful thing.
It's George. I was saying Joe, but
George Wilson.
Yeah.
And we're talking about today's paper, so we're kind of dating here. But if you want to see that article, go to PaducahSun.com, go under archives, and read that article. Although I know you'll be hearing more about this with the professional football players all coming, but they're not even just doing football. I think they're doing basketball, a little bit of everything.
Well, they're having a bowling tournament and a basketball, where these guys will participate, where you can go out and watch. So, I mean, Brooks Stadium is a big part of sports in Paducah, and we have a lot of different things out there. Like we have this stuff in May, and then we have all of the summer for American Legion baseball, which is top flight baseball. If you want to go watch that. There'll be schedules in the paper, and any of this stuff, the Paducah Sun's really good about putting a schedule, like for the clinic, for the youth clinic. There'll be an article in there about that.
Well, so, and check
Tillman.
Tillman's been playing.
Yeah, we're finishing up with Tillman right now. So,
well, check our website, paducah.travel, ilistpaducah.com, and let's see if we can get those ball schedules on there, and so that we all know what's going on. There are sporting events that may not be professional, but you're seeing quality, good quality baseball, and young men that will go on. That's one of the exciting things at all these games. You're going to see professional scouts, and you can spot them with those radar guns, and it's really fun to sit behind them.
Yeah, it is.
And over the years, there's a couple of them you get to recognize that come from all over.
Personally, we want Greg McKeel. Of course, Greg's an assistant baseball coach at Tillman High School, and they're playing out there right now. And Greg is one of those guys that gives back to the community. His children they've all graduated from Tillman now and gone on to college, but Greg is still there giving his time. And if that field needs raked today, if it needs mowed,
he's right out there.
It's either him or one of his mowers is out there, and Doc's driving it. So, I mean, Greg is the kind of guy that we really appreciate. He puts his money where his mouth is, and he puts his time and his energy there. And without him and those kind of folks, we just couldn't get it all done.
We do know about that. Even during Quilt Show, we called on you, Doc, and on Greg to get those big fans to help out with the heat.
Yeah, to show you how it works, you call on me for the fans, but the fans were Greg's.
I know it, but you know, within 30 minutes of when we called here, there was an air conditioner down during Quilt Show, called over there. 30 minutes later, here we had some help from Public Works picking up those fans, and I mean, what kind of team is that? It's great, everybody working together, and it's year round, coming together, and the American Legion, the city, the county, everybody, there's so many partners in this that just make it all come together. And the bottom line is helping these kids to grow up to be better citizens, better athletes, better business people. These relationships that they form will make them better people, ultimately help with our quality of life here in Paducah, which is what we want. And you all are such a big part of that, and we thank you. The hours that you put in, there's no telling. If you had ever kept a timesheet, you've put $1 million into baseball here in Paducah. And more than that, Leo, you've put in your volunteer hours your entire life. You know, your whole business life. I know, as he's sitting there, oh no. But I think back all the way to the Luis Mandrell benefit. I mean, you have always put volunteer hours in.
Well, you know, it's called giving back.
That's right.
This community has given so much, and to me and my family and everything. And you know, besides that, it's been fun. You know, it's not work; it's fun.
Well, and if you're out there and maybe you enjoyed sports when you were in high school or college, or just growing up, you have good memories, come out to the field. Let me tell you, Doc and Greg will put you to work. There always is grass to be mowed. There's a paintbrush, something needs to be touched up. Don't think, and Leo, you know you can flip a burger out there too, right? There's a little bit of everything that needs to be done out, from collecting tickets. If you have a passion about baseball and maybe it's lying dormant inside for all these years, come out, be a part of it. You'll stand a little straighter and puff that chest out a little bit more, because you'll feel good about your community, what you're doing for the kids, and it's a great feeling.
You know, what you're talking about, how the community stands behind and with the OVC tournament and now the minors and UK coming back, you know, they're making a big sacrifice. They're playing in Knoxville Sunday, and they're leaving Knoxville and coming all the way here to play on Monday. And then Murray is playing 2 league games on Saturday and 1 on Sunday, or vice versa. And they'll come back and ask them to play on Monday is a big sacrifice too, because they will be trying to win those conference games. So they're coming into our community and helping us. But a missing link of this is that Tillman High School, it's their turn to host the district tournament, but it's the same time the OVC is here.
Oh, so
and they are willing to give that up to help the community, and they'll be going over to Heath High School, where Heath will be working with them, where I think Tillman's going to handle the tickets and Heath's going to handle the concession stand. And then after that, we have the regional tournament, which will be in Graves County this year, and those people up there are working very hard to put their field together. I understand they put in new seating, have a new scoreboard, and they've been working on the field, and they're looking forward to hosting that this year. So it is a community effort, but Tillman does go out of their way and make sacrifices for all this to happen, because that's the field they play on.
And that's one of the things that makes Paducah such a wonderful place to live, is that people see the big picture, and it's more than just what's happening in your little part of it, and looking at what's the best for the community, and that is having OVC come in here and making that sacrifice to play at another field and still be able to go to these OVC tournament games, rub shoulders with the players, the coaches, the athletic directors, and really have a good time. As we wind this up, though, I just encourage everyone to keep up with what's happening in our town. We say we're a cultural destination. We have adventure tourism in our area with the rivers and the lakes and land between the lakes. In Southern Illinois with the National Forest, but we have sporting events, and sports is huge, and we all know America needs to get up off the couch and get moving, and what better way to set an example than with sports, and sports at Brooks Stadium. Once again, mark your calendar, the 12th, the 17th, the 20th through the 24th of May, and but that's not all. You've got downtown after dinner, you've got the Lower Town Fine Arts Festival, and everything in between. I hope that you'll be going to Paducah.travel to check out all of these events, and I hope that we'll see you at Brooks Stadium, at downtown, in Lower Town. Come on now, join us. We've got lots to do in here in Paducah. We want you to be part of it. Thank you for joining us. Thank you all for being with us once again and sharing with us what's happening at Brooks Stadium.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.